Warning, warning, that should be the alarm bell that rings whenever J.Lo walks in the room. Maybe then we wouldn't have missed all these signs. Jennifer Lopez just can't seem to keep a man, a relationship, or a marriage. It seems like every 3 years we're saying another one bites the dust for J.Lo. She's been married like 4 times and none have lasted, but why? It's not surprising that she's been in several high-profile relationships over the years. She's been very public with each and every one of them, so we get to see, the rise and fall. And while it's not uncommon for celebrities to experience relationship challenges, J.Lo's personal life, and in particular her love life, has always been subject to media scrutiny and speculation. Now, it's alarming to say the least that she hasn't been able to make any marriage work. And there could be various reasons as to why, they may not have lasted. Many people blame the intense media attention, saying that her relationships are always under a microscope, which obviously puts a lot of pressure on her and her partner. Now, some people have put blame on J.Lo's, very busy schedule, saying she's always go between acting, singing, dancing, and any other business ventures that she's in. It seems like she's always away and always booked and busy, which great if you don't have a marriage to maintain, but not so great if your partner is waiting for you constantly just to even go to dinner. Of course, many people have, just said that she's too selfish, too self-absorbed, and thinks that, the world revolves around her. But one person has actually flipped the script a little bit and said that she simply has a talent for picking the wrong men, saying that she needs a man who is going to be supportive and respectful of her time and commitments. Either way, it seems as though she struggles in this area of her life, and I'm actually curious to see what 2025 holds for her. If J.Lo is going to do one thing, it will be telling us all for decades now how she's from the Bronx. But the question that's, popped up over and over and over again over the years is, how authentic is she when she discusses this and makes claims that just don't seem to add up? J.Lo's 3-part self-funded album and documentary projects, This Is Me Now, the album, the movie, and The Greatest Love Story Never Told, the documentary, had some moments that went absolutely viral for the wrong reasons, of course. Now, in one clip while working out, she sees her messy hair in the mirror and very earnestly kind of references her days as Jenny on the block. She says, "I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me when I was 16, in the Bronx, running up and down the block, crazy little girl, who used to just be so wild with no limits, all dreams." The primary complaint here is that Lopez grew up in a very nice part of the Bronx, and even still, she has lived in Hollywood for the last 3 decades and is worth $400 million. So she should stop acting like she's repping the Bronx from what is probably her private gym. Now, the funnier part about all of this is that this one particular scene apparently got rehearsed 12 times. And so it wasn't natural and just off the top of her head she wanted it to be portrayed. One person on TikTok claimed she and Lopez had gone to the same Catholic high school and accused Lopez of actually, using the Bronx to look human. She said, "We both attended an all-girls high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood, so you weren't running up and down the block." Another person said, "Girl, you haven't been to the Bronx since 1993. Please stop." With another person adding, "She should just build a community center in the Bronx, invest in cleaning it up, putting in a nice park. She could even put a statue of herself for her ego and start, mentoring kids growing up in the Bronx." Someone even found an old photo of J.Lo with her hair from high school, and it wasn't giving crazy and running up and down no block. It was giving kept and clean private school energy. It was just another moment where J.Lo tried way too hard to be relatable, but it backfired and made her look even worse. J.Lo is allegedly one of the rudest celebrities to have any type of encounter with, and despite her claims of having a very humble beginning, apparently that did not instill a sense of humility in her. For years now, many servers and staff have reported, that J.Lo is tough to work for. In 2022, amid a TikTok storm of fans sharing negative encounters with Lopez, one woman took to the app to claim that the Jenny from the Block singer is rude to her drivers. Kayla claimed her father once worked for a company that Lopez often hired to provide drivers, and said her dad would refuse to drive J.Lo after hearing stories about her poor temperament. Kayla alleged that J.Lo does not allow the drivers to look or to talk to her, and that even if the driver looks through the rear view mirror, they could be subjected to a scolding from the diva. Lastly, she also allegedly has a very specific specific rule. They cannot let her luggage touch the ground. So like, even if it's heavy, they must carry it. Even if it's got wheels, they must lift it. Like, I just don't understand, but okay. Several TikTok users have also accused Lopez of not tipping her wait staff, but 2 stories in particular take the cake, or in this case, I guess the tip. Now, in one now deleted TikTok, a woman who alleges that she served the star claimed Lopez and her ex-husband, Ben Affleck, are notorious for not tipping servers. She said Ben Affleck had, one of the worst reputations in the casino industry, saying, "We hate him. He's cheap and like rude to other players and to staff." The woman claimed Lopez is known for being stingy, saying Lopez tells Affleck not to tip, so he doesn't tip anymore because apparently she has like instructed him not to. Another woman on TikTok, whose name is Penny, corroborated the notion of her, being anti-tipping. She claimed that a woman she previously employed at a tavern she managed in Las Vegas once shared a story with her about an experience she had while working at a casino. She claimed she spent one night serving Affleck as, he was at the poker table. She wasn't serving anybody else. And so Ben shockingly gave her an extremely gracious tip of like $10,000. However, once J.Lo caught wind of this big tip, she allegedly like snatched back the money. Apparently Affleck was like so mortified by this that he actually sent like a bouquet of flowers and a $25,000 tip like the next day. So it would seem as though Ben was like under her spell, and that's why he got, this bad rep for not tipping. I mean, I hope now that he's divorced and released from the shackles that she put on him that he now tips, but who knows? I guess time will tell, right? Now, these bad encounters don't stop there though. Reportedly, a flight attendant told Star Magazine that Lopez is an extreme diva and doesn't speak directly to people outside of her inner circle. So the United Airlines worker allegedly said to Lopez, "What can I get you to drink?" But Jennifer refused to even acknowledge. Like, she turned her head away and told her personal assistant, "Please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke." The flight attendant said that she wouldn't even look at him and that he was sad because, she seems so sweet in all of her movies. Another woman on TikTok, Julia Wang, shared her story of meeting one of J.Lo's backup singers. Wang alleges the woman was part of like a Vegas concert that J.Lo was performing for. She said she was so mean to her backup singers and that if you were pretty or if you were a Latina, like game over. She hated you like automatically. Wang further claimed that J.Lo refused to talk or even look at any of them during their many hours of rehearsal time, except for like an occasional eye roll or like a huff and puff. Wang continued to say, she just acted like a bully. Can you imagine spending time with someone working in a closed setting every single day for months and this person never even acknowledges you or acts like you exist? She shared that J.Lo's demeanor does like a complete 180 when a man walks into the room. She only treats the woman poorly because she views them as competition. But the second a man enters, she's like all smiles, very sweet, very soft. And also, I know you may know about this incident, but it's worth revisiting quickly because of how horrible it is. Jennifer Lopez allegedly once got a hotel cleaner fired. Prey Dodage happened to be cleaning Lopez's hotel room in Germany during her 2012 world tour. As a big fan of Lopez, Dodage, tried to ask the star for an autograph, only to have 2 of her assistants basically stop her. Soon after, Prey was out of a job. She said in an interview, a day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone because of an autograph. J.Lo received so much backlash for this one because she literally played the role of a hotel maid in her movie Made in Manhattan. And during the release of that film, all of her press tours for it, she talked about the importance of being nice to everyone and how she could relate to her character in many ways in hopes that people respect anyone who finds themselves in that profession. Now, it's so ironic that years later she would not practice what she preaches and would end up getting this lady fired for like an autograph request. Like, that's insane to me. Nevertheless, all of these stories are like a dime a dozen. There's like countless allegations against J.Lo and her very problematic behaviors. People are getting so sick of her kind of like diva-isms, and she may need to eat a big slice of like humble pie soon if she wants to gain some momentum back. But what do you guys think about J.Lo? Love her or leave her this year? Let me know your thoughts. I'm your host, Ashley. It's been great catching up.